So I saw the Cloverfield paradox, and it was, So before we get into anything, this is a spoiler review. I feel like that's the only way I can talk about this movie in depth and why I didn't like it. But first, I should tell you what I thought about the first two movies. Cloverfield, which was released in 2008, I feel is a pretty fun monster movie. It's not great. I feel like some of the acting is a little bit stilted, but the effects and the sound design, and in particular the marketing, were all very good. And I feel like the found footage is a good storytelling tool, especially for a monster that we don't know what it looks like. And so to have that sort of shrouded in mystery adds a little bit. 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought that was actually a really good movie. It was a fun, self-contained thriller that had a lot going for it, especially some very strong performances from our three main actors. And that was a great movie. Except for the last 10 minutes, which just made no goddamn sense and totally took away from the rest of the movie. Don't get me wrong, I think aliens are cool, but it made no sense. Especially not for this movie. Now on to this fucking one. Oh my god. What did I like about this movie? I felt like the direction was actually pretty good. As far as that goes, there's nothing to complain about. It's competently directed. A few of the shots are really cool, and the acting, it was good. Everyone did a good job. But let's get into the basic premise of the movie, which is, it's a blur in my mind at this point. It's only been a day since I've seen it, but I just feel like I've been hit over the head several times with a big old 2x4. Anyway, Cloverfield Paradox. What's it about? Well, it's about a group of astronauts on a space station named the Shepherd, and they're trying to come up with a way to accelerate particles and create energy for the Earth, but they make the Earth disappear in the process. And apparently that allows demons to get to the Earth, because then when they recover the Earth and they get back to it, oh no, there's monsters on them. And one of them is a giant fucking Cloverfield monster. It's huge. It is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life, except I didn't actually see it because it looked terrible and it was CGI and I didn't believe for a second that it was there. So, as you can tell, there are some flaws. First, let me ask you something. What are all the science fiction cliches you can think of when you think about a thriller in space? Just think about that for a second. What cliches come up? They're all in this movie. Anything you could have thought of. Any science fiction thriller cliche is in this movie and it's watered down. Also, characters just do stuff and then they die. There's no explanation. Also, one of the astronauts gets his hand removed because it gets sucked into the ship and then it's in the hallway for whatever reason, and it's crawling around and it's got a mind of its own, and for whatever reason it writes. But, yeah. There's a dude, this Russian dude, whose eye is all weird and it goes to the side, and it's supposed to be really weird and creepy and scary, but it's just stupid. Yeah, stuff like that happens throughout the whole movie. There's a character near the end of the movie who just starts killing all the other characters for no reason. It's a plot device. There's no depth provided to any of these characters, and that really sucks. Honestly, I don't think anyone would have seen this movie. It was originally called God Particle. Think about that. Would you go and see a movie called God Particle, but would you go and see a movie released on Netflix of very little consequence to you called The Cloverfield Paradox because it's Cloverfield? If you saw the other Cloverfield movies, you're gonna see this one. Well, you probably already have. I mean, if you're watching a spoiler review, either you've seen it or you really don't give a shit. This movie is cliched. The writing is terrible. Also, anytime they tried to tie in the Cloverfield lore to the movie, it suffered. Anytime they tried to jam that in, most of all the last shot of this movie, it's like, what? It doesn't make me ask questions relating to, oh, what's gonna happen next? What are they gonna do? It makes me go, why? Why is there another Cloverfield monster? Why is it so big? And why do I care? This movie was not very good, you guys. I think it would have been marginally better had it removed any connection to the Cloverfield lore. Honestly, I do think it would have been better. Not good, but better. As is, it rips off every science fiction movie you can think of. Even Life. Life was a movie I enjoyed, but yeah, it was derivative. But at least that one was a fun sci-fi romp that was, in and of itself, its own movie. It was only as that movie was being released that people went, hey, it's a Sony movie. Is it the prequel to the upcoming Venom movie? That was just people on their own that did that. Part of what's so heinous about this movie is that it's manipulative. That's how it feels. Because when you take a movie that had nothing to do with Cloverfield and you slap the Cloverfield name on it, reshoot a few scenes, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go, it's lazy. Like, if J.J. Abrams wants so badly for another Cloverfield movie to exist, you should have left The Cellar alone. You should have left God Particle alone. Make Cloverfield 2. Make the actual movie. Because what you're doing right now is bullshit. Like, really? Like, really? You're not gonna make your own goddamn movie? That's too much work, man. It's like, come the fuck on. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 10. It probably would have earned about a 5 out of 10 if it weren't Cloverfield, but it's a 3. For what little this film does correctly, it does a bunch more things wrong. I don't think this would have been a great movie to begin with, and I don't think anyone would be talking about it unless it were Cloverfield. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Cloverfield paradox. So let me know in the comments if this is something you liked, and I'll put out more. Thinking of going to see Black Panther sometime soon, and I've got a bunch of movies that I saw last year that I might put reviews out for if this one gets good reception. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it. I will see you later. Okay, bye.